In today's video, we're going to be talking about coiling better in your backswing to generate more power in your downswing. You need to check this video out. Welcome back to TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is all about speed and power. How much more could we create from a better backswing position? And I'm not going to be talking too much about positions or where the club is in today's video. I am going to be demonstrating with the driver, purely because we're talking about speed and power. But this is relevant with any golf club. I don't care whether we're talking about the iron play or the wood play. We're going to be talking about coiling better in your backswing. And I will put some other examples in this video, so make sure you check those out as well. Some other ideas and exercises that I've filmed before about creating more speed. While I'm at it, if you are new to my channel, make sure you consider hitting the subscribe button if you like what you're hearing today. Lots of content, at least 2 instructional videos a week. So I'm going to jump straight into an exercise I love to help players understand coiling better. And I just simply use a couple of tour sticks. And one is going to go through your belt loops. And the other one is going to be across your shoulders. Now the one across your shoulders, of course, it could be anything. It could be a club. These tour sticks work great just because they're not too large to push through belt loops and stay roughly in place. This is obviously demonstrating a rough demonstration of the amount of hip turn in my backswing, and this one my shoulder. Now, turn can be a word that perhaps gets thrown around a lot and misunderstood. So when players are trying to turn, we often see this sort of movement off the golf ball, and I see players' shoulders working too horizontally, and they make a big backswing, but they don't necessarily make a coiled backswing. So we're talking about generating more speed, more coil. So we want to turn on this tilted axis. And if you have watched my videos before, you'll know that I bang on about this, but it's such a key part. If we can get the backswing right, it can really help what we're doing in the downswing. So what I'm looking for in terms of a feeling is my trail side, so my side that's furthest away from the target. So my right hip here for me and my right shoulder, I'm trying to feel like they extend upwards as they rotate. Okay, and that worries a lot of people because they think, oh, I'm going to be gaining height. But as these are moving upwards, so my trail side, my trail hip and my trail shoulder is moving up and behind me, you can see that my lead side, so my lead hip closest to the target, and my lead shoulder is doing the opposite. It's moving a little bit more down, okay? And I love the drill, and again, you may well have seen me do this before. I've put a ball about the right distance away for whatever club you're perhaps going to pick up on, and then put another marker, so I'm going to use another ball about 2 feet past the golf ball we're looking at as a rough guide. And what I'm looking for is the pointer that's over my lead shoulder is going to point at the outside marker, so the second golf ball that's further away from me. So I'm going to get that sensation of my trail side, my right hip, my right shoulder moving up and behind me, and you can see my lead shoulder is moving more down. Okay, and there what I'm getting now, from this angle, you will see a good 90-degree shoulder turn. So this is almost right angles to my target line, represented by the other red stick on the floor. And you can see my shoulders have rotated more than my hips have rotated, okay? So the bigger the difference between shoulder turn and hip turn, that is one way of generating speed. But how big that gap is, and definitely depends on flexibility. So if we are less flexible, if you had any injuries, as we're getting older, unless you're doing a lot about it, you're going to lose some flexibility. You may have to allow these hips to rotate more to complete your backswing, and that is absolutely fine. So what's right for you in terms of the amount of hip rotation will vary golfer to golfer. You know, if we could aim for somewhere like 90 and 45, fantastic. But, you know, we may need to get 60 to allow our shoulders to turn 90, or you might be very, very supple and be able to create a 90 shoulder turn with only 20 hip turns. So what's right depends on the person watching this video, you know, the flexibility, the injuries, the age of the viewer. So it's finding what you can do personally. But what I'm trying to get with this is that sensation, and I'm going to move just a little bit more down line here, of my trail hip and my trail shoulder moving up and behind me here. And that creates a little bit of side bend here in my lead side that's closest towards the target. So it is not just a turning movement. I think once you've done that exercise, I'd pick up a golf club. I'm just going to keep the one between across my hips just for a second. I'd pick up a golf club and just try and get that same feeling of my trail side moving up and behind me, and you can see there a bigger shoulder turn to hip turn, and I really feel a pull. I can feel some pressure loading up into my trail thigh, so my thigh that's furthest away from the target, and I can feel a pull here on my lower back as my body is starting to extend. That is my trail side extending as my lead side moves a little bit more down in front of me. And that's a great sensation to really coil up. And I would say between shots on the golf course, what's stopping you just throwing in a couple of those slow practice movements to help you coil better? And I would encourage you on the driving range, if you're working on this and working on power, to not just hit golf balls, to do a couple of those exercises for every shot you hit. So maybe buy less golf balls, but put some time into really creating a more coiled backswing. Not just a turn and a turn. You know, you may well tell a beginner golfer that just to get them to make contact with a golf ball, but we really want to get that sensation of what our body's starting to do. And my trail side furthest away from the target is definitely rising as I'm rotating here for my lead side to work a little bit more downwards. I see far too many golfers with this sort of movement in the backswing. Now that I've done a couple of those, build that into a golf swing. So get that same feeling, that pull. Now you obviously won't feel it quite as much at flat out pace because we're not stopping at the top, but feel it in a practice swing and then try and give it a whirl. Well, that's about as straight as I can hit it. Might have been a touch high out the club, but felt a good resisted backswing. Really felt like I created some coil. And the more you're doing these drills and these exercises, whether it's the club across your shoulders or whether it's putting the golf club in your hands and getting that same feeling of really loading your backswing better, it's going to help you generate some more speed. Let's give one more a go. A touch more down the right side, but I think it's just going to cling on to the edge of the fairway. So I'm going to count that as 2 for 2. More importantly, I'm a little bit out of breath. I felt like I created some more resistance, some more load in my backswing, and I know that's going to help you generate some more speed. Next time you're on the driving range or the golf course, try doing some of those drills and exercises between shots. It's really going to help you feel that better backswing position. If you did enjoy this video, as I said at the start, hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.